How you doing, Mac? How you doing, man?
It's an honor to be here with you.
Thanks so much for taking the
I
time.
love what you guys do.
Aw.
Making music, sharing cool music, making babies. You do it all.
We like that part too.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
We
you
dabble.
so much. No, and
Thanks,
thank
brother.
you. Yeah, thank you for being a part of the community, for so long. We've really come to like really respect everything that you do, and it's so cool being able to see all your different sides. So we're really excited to have everyone else here, get to learn about you and see, more about who Mach really is. Besides just the
a
cool
guy down in the
goggles.
basement making music. Sometimes I creep up the stairs and escape out in the world, and other people hear it.
Well, we're the lucky ones to hear it.
I know. It's definitely awesome. So, first thing I personally would want to know, where did the name Mach FoX come from? Like, what does that mean to you? What does that mean for your like persona and your musical like person?
Great question.
Artist named John Fox, and he spells it with 2 X's.
Okay.
So the Fox part was a nod to him. I just didn't want to make it that obvious.
Okay.
Okay.
And Mach just became the front part of that name. I had a band called Silver Fox, sort of a glam electronic rock outfit.
Nice.
And we each had stage names. Basically, I was trying to be Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. So everyone in the
right.
band had a name. We'd get
Oh,
all
man.
glammed up. And Mach
have to
FoX
see
became my
pictures.
name from that. And it was about the speed.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned Speed Racer, I think his car might be called the Mach 5.
I think it
That's
is.
probably
yeah.
what you're
that's
connecting
why.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Yep. Because when
But
we were
I don't know.
saying,
It just seemed like 2 names to mash together, and I needed a stage name.
now,
That's
are
how
there
that one came
pictures
around.
on the internet of your glam days?
Yes.
Yes. And I love to share them. So they're on my Facebook page. They're all over.
Oh,
All
yes.
right.
Okay, we have
Some
to find
embarrassing
those.
videos.
Yes. Yes. Those are always the best.
Hey,
man.
there's no progress without some embarrassing videos of yourself
Right?
out there on the internet somewhere.
right.
Yeah. And we had fun. So,
Oh, that's awesome. So what kind of music you said you guys, it was like glam rock that you guys played back then?
not straight up. It was indie electronic rock,
Okay.
glam rock alternative. I don't know. I'm still influenced very much by Gary Newman, a lot of the early 80s electronic rock.
Nice.
We were pretty
Nice.
retro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. And I'm sure your style was on point too.
There are some things that I still keep around,
Oh
some
yeah, is there any?
jackets and boots and whatnot. So
Oh yeah, you still like rock it when you go to like shoot videos and go live.
more to make my friends laugh.
Yeah, man. Got to bring out the old classic.
Got
Yeah.
the shoulder pads and stuff.
Exactly.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, so that's where we began. So where are we today? What's going on in Mac's world today? What do you have going on with music? What's going on?
Well, Zwaremachine is the main project. So
Okay.
that's myself, Fine Officer, and D-Bot. We're a trio. That's what I really focus on and work hard on. And then I have some other projects like Mach FoX Band, which is more an outlet for anything I want to do. I'm not trying to hone in on a certain look or style of music with that.
Okay. So it's like freeing.
A bit, yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
And I can be more of myself and explore anything really. So it's a good outlet for my creativity that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I mean, anytime that you have freedom like that, you can bring it into any of your other projects. Because you might learn something new or discover something that you could bring into Zwaremachine.
Well, I think it makes Zwaremachine stronger because nothing that isn't Zwaremachine gets to be in Zwaremachine. It gets pushed onto something else.
There you
like
go.
the Mach FoX band project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like focusing on Zwaremachine is something I've learned to do over time. I didn't want that to be an experimental project where I try anything I feel like. I wanted to hone in on that thing that we do and make it ours.
Well, and you guys really have, man. You guys really have made your own sound. I really love the lore and everything you guys have put into it. I mean, this
that
this
post-apocalyptic
EP, the Conquest
cyber
3000, man, was a staple. To come out with that and be like, this is who we are. It was a statement, man, and I really loved it.
Cool, thank you. And we worked with a couple producers, Plank Toon in Sweden and Darren Corey from Ireland,
Wow.
to put those songs together.
Wow, man,
So
international.
that it wasn't just me or me and the band even. D-Bot, the bass player, wrote the songs. I kind of developed the lyrics, and we worked on the arrangement. We worked on it with producers, and then it became the album.
Now, did
But
you?
we did.
Oh,
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, we did have an intention of making it minimal, hypnotic, industrial body music, which is what we kind of penned ourselves as.
Yeah.
Just to have a general description with a lot of words.
But I love that too, because it does fit so perfectly. Everything that you do in Zwaremachine is so driving and intense, but it is
that hypnotic.
you
man.
break it down, and it is
hypnotic.
minimalistic in nature, but it's how you guys are playing. It's how Dine Officer is banging on those drums, and how you're putting so much intensity into your vocal. That's the heart of it, and that's what's so cool about it, and we love so much. And you just bring it to life. But I love that hypnotic body music.
It was just a way to be a little more descriptive,
Yeah.
but basically industrial EBM
Yeah.
is what we're doing.
Yeah. But still, you make it your own. You have your own unique sound. I mean, you hear a song and that's a Zwaremachine song, and and especially with like a Mach FoX vocal, you're like, that's Mach. You hear your voice and it's so distinct and it's so you. But we really appreciate that.
I call that my ugly style vocals, where it's sort of like a monster meets. I don't want to make it too obvious, but obviously there's some love for Skinny Puppy in what we do. So the matching of like a horror sounding vocal with some harder industrial EBM just works for me.
Yeah, and it works
as a way to present
You guys make it work. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, to segue off of that, because we're talking about like style and everything like that, with industrial and EBM, style and persona, and having your own
message.
Yeah, like having your own kind of like microcosm of a message, like is I feel like is so important, because it's like you're pushing against the mainstream. So how does that translate to you guys and what you do, like your style, your persona? Like, how do you guys present that in Zwaremachine, and what does that mean for you guys?
I always hoped our music would kind of open your imagination, and the visions you're going to see are horror and science fiction, maybe mashed together at the best points.
Yeah.
So, lyrically, I'm not trying to be very on the moment political or even have a huge statement. I look at our music as a bit of an escape.
Okay.
I'm not trying to push an agenda, or I will make note of many things, especially in Conquest 3000, which was more or less a concept album from the start. And about 5 of those songs fell off the album because they weren't Zwaremachine material. And that was the Mach FoX EP. We can touch on that later, maybe.
Yeah.
But with that Zwaremachine message, it was basically just science fiction set in the future, which is an actual reality now that's coming,
Yeah.
and science
Sadly.
fiction set in modern day,
Yeah.
which is sadly true also.
Yeah.
Like 5 of those songs on Conquest 3000 are set in the current day, and
Wow.
5 of them are in the year 3000.
Like after, after everything
yeah.
has happened and after. Yeah, one of the songs that stands out the most to me, and one of my favorites, and we just posted earlier today on our socials, is "Parasol." When we played that on Taste of the Underground, and I remember finding like a metaphor in the song that you were like, "Oh, I didn't even aim for that," and it's like the idea that a parasol is like protecting you from radiation, and it would just burn up itself. It's it. Like in my mind, it's like, oh, it's futile. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's futile. The end is here, and that's one of the messages that I got that I love so much. But I guess that's what's cool about art. You kind of interpret it, how you want. But like as far as going into the album, were you taking from real life stuff, or was it just mainly from like science fiction stuff that you guys enjoy? Like, did you have things that you had in mind, certain movies or media that you guys were thinking about?
Well, yeah, the post-apocalyptic year 3000 was, set where all the rich people have left the planet. They're living in hollow moons with green, lush, growing plants and everything, while the Earth is dying. And only the stragglers who can't get off the planet, which is most of us, were left to fend for themselves. One guy's got a gun, well, one guy's got a bullet, so they have to team up. It's a lot of cliches, I feel like, from many movies put together.
Okay.
And then the other 5 songs were the ones done with Darren Corey. Those were an EP called Ripping at the Fabric originally. And those would be the ones that are set in modern day, because they were written very much as, they weren't intended to be Zwaremachine songs at all, but they were an EP that I wrote with a producer. And I just did the vocals, and I was kind of angry at the time. A lot of shit was going down. The pandemic had just started.
Yeah.
There wasn't much leadership, as far as I could see, to like direct people in that. So there's a lot of anger in those 5 songs, and they were seated in modern day events.
Okay.
Nice.
See,
And Parasol,
like
I guess your question was Parasol. That is set in the future. Yeah. And I pictured a big blimp, like a dirigible, only one of them with a big parasol. But you're right, that would have just disintegrated.
So you can try.
I didn't think it through.
But that's what's beautiful about it.
That's what we would do.
Yeah, and exactly. That
we would try.
That is what we
until,
would do.
yeah,
It's like we would, in our nature, getting like, I guess, philosophical, but in our nature as humans, we are our own destruction, and then anything we come up with to try to, dampen that is just
usually
futile.
Worsens the problem.
Usually, yeah, or makes it worse.
Well, and that was the thing. There was only one of these available. So it's like going from group of people, there's not even cities left. There's rubble.
Oh,
but it's going to these different areas where there's a population to give them just a small refrain from the glowing sun.
Yeah.
And that's why, and they're moving at night, because that's when they can get out and move and forage.
Oh, wow.
But I'm glad you picked that song. I was kind of shocked by the response to it. It almost didn't make the album.
Oh,
that
really?
was slated for an outtake also.
Really?
And at the last minute, Kitty and I, who helps manage the band and keeps me focused, we decided that it sort of did sound like Zwaremachine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm glad it's on there.
Yeah, me too. That one's definitely a standout for me. I really love that track.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
But yeah, we're two big sci-fi nerds here too. So that's why I was like, oh, I just have to know like what is some of your favorite sci-fi? What's some of your like favorite movies or comics or
Well, I've seen them all.
I believe that 100%.
I can't focus on maybe some few favorite bands, but I can never pick favorite movies or favorite lists. I'm terrible at it. Everything has moments in it that I like,
Yeah.
and that I'll kind of mash into one big movie in my head. And that's what informs a lot of those lyrics.
That's so cool though.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah, man. But you take from everything. You borrow a little bit from everything that you like. That's what helps create you. You know, that's what builds our personalities. Is all the different stuff that we bring in. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I feel like everyone's really just a nerd at their core. It's just what you're a nerd about.
Yeah. That's true.
For sure.
just-
You got to have a passion. And if
Yeah.
you don't, I feel sorry for you.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we're speaking about influences and stuff. What are some of your musical influences? We've talked about sci-fi and stuff. Is a lot of stuff that influences you. What kind of musical influences do you take?
Well, I'll go deep with you guys because I like you so much.
All right.
There's an artist called Todd Rundgren that inspired me quite a bit for many reasons. He was a pioneer in production, video, lots of software, lots of things that were interesting to me and a little intimidating when they first happened, maybe back in the 80s. So he's made a ton of different music. Look him up. He's done pure electronic. He's sampled his voice and done all the instruments from his voice for an album.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
And he just kind of showed me that you can be one person in the studio. You can write and record everything. I didn't know about that concept till I heard of him.
Wow.
Oh wow,
So,
Russell Nash in the chat says he was Meatloaf's guitarist.
He produced that album,
Okay.
Bat Out of
Wow.
Hell. And he did play the guitar solo for sure. The revving up motorcycle, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the title. It's kind of an unlistenable album, but whatever. Yeah, he played guitar on it though.
That's awesome.
Oh cool. Oh, very cool. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. I'm fascinated by the idea of like creating music or instruments out of things that aren't meant to be instruments or anything. Like going back to sci-fi stuff. I don't know how you feel about the new Dune. We're huge fans of the new Dune, and we were just watching something with Hans Zimmer and how he created all of the instruments and all the music for the new Dune. Have you had a chance to see it yet? Did you see the?
I saw Dune.
Yeah.
1.5 times. I would watch it a couple times.
Oh, we just watched it again last night. Oh,
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I know. That's like a totally side subject. We could talk about that for hours probably because that movie's just amazing. I'm totally new to the universe and it totally converted me. Like I saw the 2021 Dune and then I saw the who directed the
86 one.
the 86 Dune. And
David
I'm
Lynch.
like, oh man, I feel bad for anybody that's coming in now because that one isn't going to hold up as much. I can understand why there's nostalgia, but the new one was just like so perfect. And that just like made me think of it because Hans Zimmer, took flautists and he would have them just say vowels into the flute to sound like wind, passing through sand and everything like that. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, again, just nerd stuff.
No,
Just nerd
I
sound
love to hear
design.
anything like that.
Yeah, it's
Musically
really cool.
and more like the thought behind it. How that's very inspiring.
It's definitely, yeah, it's crazy inspiring. To think that people can just look at something and not see it for what it's meant to be, or just test its limits. But I even see that with you guys too. I mean, I see you guys like testing the limits of like what industrial can be, what EBM can be, So it's like it's all in how you approach it. And with that, when you guys are going in to create, and not just with Zwaremachine, in any project you're doing, what's something that you're trying to do to put your stamp on it to make it you? You know, what's your thought process behind that?
I got to get the lighting right. Usually it's dim, a little blue tint.
Yeah,
Uh,
get the mood going.
exactly. That's a big part of it for me, especially if I'm going to be me on the recording for vocals, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like cutting the vocals. For the music part of it, I just get down to business. Sometimes I collaborate with other people, you know, get the spark of the track started. Um, and then edit the crap out of everything. I love editing on the grid.
Yeah.
That's like a thing for me. I just do 3 passes of vocals. Sometimes I'm doubling, sometimes I'm giving myself some freedom on a take, and then I just edit the shit out of it.
Nice.
And make a song arrangement.
Yeah.
I don't often write the arrangement out for the vocals when I'm recording.
Oh, okay.
Because things are going to get jumbled and moved around.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if people can tell. I know you can hear some bad edits I've done in some of our recordings. Like, if you're an editor or a music producer, you'll be like, oh, he's just copy pasting. But I try to hide that and make it a performance, make it feel live. So I'm often learning the Zwaremachine song arrangements after the record comes out.
Oh,
wow. Wow. That's
which is
wild.
hard.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it. I don't know our songs
Oh my gosh.
because I didn't write them. I edited them.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, yeah, so you have a totally different view and perspective on them.
Yeah, it's an experiment in the DAW to me. I
Yeah.
just love editing on the grid, get everything kind of lined up, chop and copy, paste, and it's fun.
Yeah, man. Just
Put a lot of
experiment.
effects
Just be
on it.
free.
That's really cool. I love that. That actually, yeah. I love hearing that too, though, because you just go in and it's just about the performance. It's just about getting
Just
it down.
capturing what you
yeah,
can get,
getting the emotion.
And then you'll make it when you can.
and
I
then you'll
love
make it work later.
But that could be why there's always such like emotion. Like you just said it. There's always such emotion and such heart because you're just getting out what you need to get, like what you're trying to get out. Then and then afterwards you're like, we'll put it together afterwards. We'll see how it goes together. I've got
Yeah.
my pieces. Let's see how it comes together.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It's totally valid.
It's always ended up being a better way to do it. Like I do, when I write down lyrics, there's a certain arrangement, and I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to sing it. But I'm never precious or married to that arrangement. I'm always thinking, well, let's mute it here. I kind of treat it like a remix.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I just remix myself.
Wow. That's cool though. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Wow.
There's
yeah,
always
that's
different
fascinating.
ways that you can take a song too. You know what I mean?
That's
There's always
true.
different possibilities, different avenues you could go with it.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like that could give you some freedom too. You know, because you're not so married to something and because it can just kind of like evolve as you're creating it. I mean, is that the same approach that you take to all of your projects?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that experimental approach. I'm not one to plan it out and write the song and then go in the studio and record it. You know, at least in this electronic music phase I'm in.
Yeah.
I played in plenty of bands where that was the only way we did it. You know, we rehearsed. We were a band, and then we went to the studio, played the songs that we rehearsed exactly like we rehearsed them.
Yeah. Yeah, you have your
I just
band
don't do that
practice.
anymore.
Yeah.
And weird things can happen when you're free like that too. For instance, International Hero, the album on Conquest 3000, or the song on the album, that had a part that sounds like a guitar. And it's simply the drum and synth track that I accidentally moved to a vocal track that had distortion on it.
Oh wow.
Oh, so I
And
got all
it's-
your
I
vocal
And I
thought it was
can
effects.
mute the
guitar.
track. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't mute the track, and I heard it when I was doing playback, and I said, "Where's that guitar coming from?" and and it became the guitar riff in the song. It even had like some vowels in it, vowel sounds that became the "You got a gun, I got a bullet." Like I heard words in the thing
Oh,
too.
that's so cool.
Wow,
So
man.
that informed the lyrics for that song and became the guitar riff and is a trick that I now use.
Yeah, those little happy accidents, man.
Yep.
Oh, that is beautiful. Oh yeah, finding those moments are like just the light bulb goes off. It's like the epiphany. Like we had one of those moments the other day when we were making the set, and then we just hit one of the effects on our effect pedal, and it turned the synth into something totally different. And we were recording, and we were like, no, 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 leave it, leave it. We don't know what happened. We don't know why. Just leave it. It works.
Yes. I'm heavy into effects too, as you probably know, especially for the vocals. It's kind of fun. I treat it like an instrument. And I do a lot of live looping.
Okay.
You know, not beatbox style.
Yeah.
Just
That would
just
be
like a
amazing
word or
if
a
that's what
phrase.
you said right now. If you just did like Mark Rebellet, you're like, yeah, I'm just
Start
in my
beatboxing.
robe. I'm just singing about, ass and titties and just like making a loop.
I might try that now.
Yeah. Oh,
Give it a
totally.
shot.
well, speaking of that, you do some live performance stuff, correct? And we're actually going to see a little bit of that
Yeah, I believe so.
in a
Yeah.
little bit. But so yes, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's how I prefer you experience Zwaremachine.
Okay.
But we play very seldom these days, so good luck with that.
I know. I'm the one that I'm like, I want to see you, and you're like,
We'll
yeah,
get some
not gonna
video
happen.
footage. It's not the same, but
Yeah.
there's a lot more energy than you can. Our live streams have been kind of maybe 70% there. It's just the bass player and I, and it's not like a live performance for me. I got
Yeah.
one eye on the recorder. Is that the red light still on? I'm doing live video switching. I'm monitoring the video feed.
Oh man.
So
Oh,
I'm
geez.
Yeah,
not
you're-
performing 100%.
yeah.
Everyone, and I'm not saying it's a big feat. I can do it. A lot of
Yeah.
people do it. A lot of
Yeah.
people do it better than I do. But it's not anything like when you let me loose on a real stage.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point.
When
You're
I'm
not
not
able
the
to be
sound
yourself.
guy and I'm not the videographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way you're able to just fully be you and just let loose and just let the
Yep.
music take over and just give it a show. I mean, yeah, 100%. And being viewers, I mean, it's amazing to get to see live streams and thank God that we've had them for these last
Yeah.
couple of years. But nothing will ever replace a live show. Like,
Yeah.
and
Well-
I'm one of those guys that I prefer bands live. Like, if I have a live recording of your song versus the album recording, I'll usually listen to the live recording because I like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to experience them live.
I'm the opposite of that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
prefer the recorded studio version usually. I mean, it depends on the band and the style
That's
of music,
true.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some great live recordings. There's also some great live recordings that have been post-produced
Yes, that's very true.
to be great.
That's
So
true.
That's very true.
I like well-produced music and well-written songs. When we were talking about influences, I'm also heavily influenced just by pop music in general and different styles of production. And that's been my whole life.
Yeah.
Just interested in music in that way. I remember buying vinyl albums, purely on what synthesizers were used on them or who produced it.
Oh, that's
I didn't
awesome.
Oh,
know
wow.
much about it, but if I saw a certain synthesizer was used or certain producer, I was just going to buy it. I read all the credits all the time.
Oh wow. Yeah, you do miss that aspect of music because you
Having
had
the
that
physical
Yeah.
album, being able to see that and being
Yeah,
influenced
that
by these
intimacy.
people, being able to say like, oh, this was a Rick Rubin track, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, what was that like, Or this is
Yeah.
a Trent Reznor track, or just names, random producer names, but no, for real. Do miss that.
I know that is it is like as things advance, it's really cool, and like the things you like the live streaming and all of the software that's available now and accessible. But there's something about something just innocent about when you had to go to a record store and you had to like pick it up and it had the insert with all the lyrics and all the credits and everything like that, and you could like connect with. I feel like personally you could connect with an album a little bit more and connect with the music more, because it was like they gave you that little piece and you're holding it there in your hands. You know, it's like something this generation's going to miss out on.
If you were a true music nerd and you loved music and you wanted to learn how to make it and you wanted to learn like how it was done, you read that and you read, okay, this producer produced this album.
Yeah.
This guitarist played this solo on this album. How did they do that? And you would have to go and find out for yourself.
Yeah.
And you'd have to put the work in and like really do it, you know?
Yeah, you had to get off your ass to be an active like music lover. You know, you had to go out there. You had to go to the stores. You had to go to the shows. You had to support these people, and do all of that. But it is cool like what we can do now. You know, it's just different. You know, it's just a totally different world.
It's a whole new world.
It's evolving because now with YouTube, I can watch so many tutorials and learn about these things that I always wondered about my whole life.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping some new kind of music comes out. I mean, I hear different variations of things, and I mean, maybe that's the only thing that can be done, but there's going to be some innovation at some point.
Oh, there's definitely going to be.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be. You know, people are going to be pushing the envelope. You got to.
Yeah, and I think there people are.
Well, the kind of music that's generative and can be based on your environment or gestures, that seems really fun. Wow. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a new sound. And cyberpunk is a genre and a aesthetic that interests me too. But I have really defined ideas of it.
Okay.
So I can't say, I sometimes will call Zwaremachine cyberpunk, but it's more in my attitude than our actual sound. So
well,
I'm still working on that.
I almost feel like personally like cyberpunk isn't really a genre you can nail down. I'm with you where I agree that it's in how you present it, what your message is like, but you know, the only really connective thread is like maybe the sci-fi element or how you're creating the music. Like yeah, there's got to be some kind of cyber element, but I'm totally with you. I think as long as it's, you know, punk is in how you present yourself and just how you're, you know, what you're singing about or what your music's about. I mean, that's cyberpunk. There's so much I hear.
You nailed it.
That's cyberpunk. That's cyberpunk. You know, there's dark synth that's cyberpunk. There's metal that's cyberpunk. You know, it's like
it's more the attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's probably more the spirit behind it.
Yeah. Well, it's like true punk rock was. It wasn't really like the sound. I mean, the sound was a part of it, but punk rock was more the attitude. It was the movement. It was the thought behind going against the man. You know, and going against the norms, you know, and doing something different and being yourself.
Yeah, and half the time they weren't even trying to make it sound good. It was just the emotion.
And the whole do-it-yourself thing.
Yeah.
I kind of did come out of a punk rock world growing up. That some of my first bands, I played guitar mostly. And I would say we were punk bands.
Yeah.
At least in the States. You know, we weren't like snotty Brits or I don't know what we were doing. We were just playing fast and we were horrible, so we called it punk. I don't know. But
did you have fun?
Thing that you could do it yourself.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing too.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, fuck Warner Brothers, or you know, we don't care about the corporate man.
Yeah.
So we were having fun with that. I would say I'm still informed by a lot of bands like the Dead Kennedys.
Okay.
The way they wrote lyrics.
Yeah.
Some of that does seep into Zwaremachine, like a little bit of cut on corporate industry or something.
Hmm.
It's veiled in the sci-fi world, but it's in there.
Yeah, see, but you have
And
that
that's my
attitude and
old punk.
spirit.
Yeah, that's that old thing just coming through. That'll never die.
Hell yeah.
Dude, you can't.
Real
you
punks
can't let
never
it.
die, man.
Yeah. Only posers died.
Well, all right, man. We've talked about a lot of stuff here. We talked about some music. Is it time to hear some music?
Yeah, do you guys want to hear some of what Mach does? You want to hear some of this awesome, awesome music? He gave us a couple tracks here that we're going to go through. We have 5 tracks for you guys to listen to. These are hand-picked by Mach himself, hand-curated, to give you guys an idea of what he does. And after each track, we're just going to touch base with Mach. He's going to, go through the track a little bit, talk about it a little bit. And if you guys do have any questions, I did want to mention, if you guys do have questions for Mach, save them for the end. We are going to take some questions after we listen to this music. So definitely, if you have anything you want to know, anything about his production, how he does stuff, definitely hold on to those. But we're going to get into it and hear some cool stuff.
All righty.
Questions.
All right. So,
All right.
yeah, so just so you know, Mach, we're going to switch over to a different screen.
Gotcha.
All right. So this first track we have up here is Zwaremachine with IEYEI, and this is the Plank Tune remix. So we're gonna get
All
it.
right, let's get it. Let us know, guys, if the volumes and everything are good.
Always such cool video.
That is a banger.
Yeah, we were commenting how much we love the bass line in that. That had such a
Well,
good bass line.
that is Planktoon.
Who threw the bass
He
line?
remixed it. I think it's a synth bass probably, or it could be a sampled bass.
Yeah, couldn't really
Uh,
tell. Couldn't
yeah,
really
it's
tell,
in the
but
bass range though,
yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
I think it is a sampled bass. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him.
Okay,
But he
awesome.
produced that track remix for us, and yeah, I just love working with him. He always amazes me when he produces one of our tracks.
Now, is he a regular collaborator of yours?
He has been since about 2007, on
Okay.
and off. He
Wow.
was uh, remixing Mach FoX, and we produced an album together
Hmm.
back then, maybe around 2011. And then with Zwaremachine, yeah, he produced some remixes for us, and that's why I asked him to help produce the second album with us.
Oh, nice, nice.
I wanted to bring in some outside people to create with
Nice.
and pick, so I felt like I was picking all the same patches, all the same synth sounds. I could make the same album 2 times in a row, and I didn't want to do that. So my solution was to work with other songwriters and producers. But I just wanted to show you guys that song because I love his production on it.
It
And the
was
bass is
so
cool.
good. Yeah, that bass is really, really cool. That's a really good track. And your vocal paired with the bass, because the bass is almost so like clean and so dancey, and then your super aggressive vocal and the effects on top of that are like a really, really cool mixture. It's very danceable but very aggressive, which I love.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good
It's
combination.
definitely in the skinny puppy world there.
Yeah.
And I think he knew that too. He was doing that intentionally.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of remixing too. You can take it anywhere you want.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Absolutely.
It's a whole new world at that point.
It really is. Yeah, you can put a totally different spin on it and still keep the essence of the song. But that is something that's super exciting about it. And I mean, we have yet to have like the pleasure of someone remixing one of our tracks, but I can't even imagine how exciting it must be for someone to like take your creation and go like, here, this is what I did with it. This is what I was inspired by. Like, what was it like hearing some of his remixes of your stuff?
Amazing. And he's definitely one that always nails it.
Mm.
But part of remixing and hearing remixes, sometimes it's only about 60% are usable.
Oh,
We're trading with friends and trading with people who are offering to do them, and sometimes they're DJs and maybe it's their first remix. So I always appreciate the effort and the time, and it's probably fun for them, but some of them just don't meet the mark of what we want to release.
Yeah.
So that's a little tough when you have to tell your friend, hey, we can't put this out, but that's just how it goes. Everyone
Yeah.
deals with that.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see.
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm not going to say who or what because it's still a secret, but we just finished up a remix for someone that's a close friend. And it's like, oh, we hope they like it so much. We really hope they like it. So we'll see.
No,
Maybe
and I
we'll
don't
get
wanna-
some of our
I
first
don't wanna come
professional
off
rejection. No.
No,
but
no,
It's
no.
like how it goes.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I have
Exactly.
certain expectations that I didn't always tell people. Like when I request a remix from a cool DJ or a band that has a great sound, I'm actually asking for a dance floor banger. But I don't want to set them up to like think, oh, this is how I have to make it, because the fun part of remixing for myself is having the freedom to be inspired by what I hear in the song that grabs
Yep.
my ear. And I want to go down any road that it takes me. I mean, I'm working on a remix right now that's probably 4 months in, and it's horrible. I'll probably just start over.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
It's for a friend's band, and I want to do a great job for them, but
Yeah.
it's just not working. So I think sometimes if you are afforded the luxury of time, maybe it's best to start over.
Yeah, I
But
mean, if you can't
whatever.
put your name behind it, you know, it's sometimes
Yeah.
it's just better to just take a step back and go like, all right, is this really what I want to put out there?
Yeah, it's almost more like it's just not that good.
Yeah.
I'll put my name on it sometimes if it's not the best thing. If it's Mach FoX, I like to keep that distinguished from Zwaremachine.
Okay.
So I do
Yeah.
my remixes under Mach FoX, so no one can shit talk Zwaremachine if they're
Oh, what
bad.
a guy. What a guy. You're taking the hits.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to get into this next track here?
Alrighty.
We got another track here for you guys. So this is
yeah, this is gonna be a fun one.
yeah, this is a cover that he provided for you guys to check out. So this is Zwaremachine and the cover the Ministry song Effigy. So let's get it.
Show and what the
Yeah, that's an epic way to end it right there. That was amazing.
Such a great video.
So,
Such a
and-
good
So
video.
many fun things about that video and that song.
Yeah, tell us, man. Tell us about it.
Well, when the album came out that was originally on, called With Sympathy by Ministry, a friend gave it to me, and I didn't like it. It was way too soft. That was my punk rock days.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And I just wasn't having it. And I mean,
Yeah.
I did listen to everything. There was plenty of new wave that I liked, but there's something about that album. Maybe it was just the hand and the rose. And I was like, I don't know. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And foolishly, I gave it away. Many years later, I listened to it again and realized that every song on that album, is a dance floor banger. Apparently, Ministry, Al Jorgensen didn't like it and kind of distanced
Oh
himself from
yeah,
it.
he definitely.
I mean, I think
has.
the
Oh,
record,
really?
yeah, the
Yes.
record label pushed the songs on him and everything, Image maybe. So
Yeah, he didn't.
he was
wanna do
never a
any of
fan of it. But
Wow.
everyone who's heard it,
Loves it.
like, knows every song on there is a classic. It's a
Yeah,
great,
yeah.
great album. So we started playing it as Mach FoX band. And D-Bot, who plays in Zwaremachine with me now, was also in that band. And he
Okay.
said he always loved playing the bass riff.
It's such a
it
good
was-
one.
It is, man.
Yeah, it worked out great live. People knew it. They loved it. So he kept bugging me to, let's have Zwaremachine play. Let's play it. Let's play it live again. And I was like, I don't feel like sequencing it. Because we use drum machines and sequencers.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, if you want to sequence it, I'll do it. So I was just lazy, and finally he did it.
Wow.
And I was like, fuck, this is pretty cool. So he
Yeah.
sequenced all the synths and drums on it. And we haven't played it live. We haven't played any shows since we recorded it. And another fun thing about it, so he wanted to play it again. We did a recorded version, and we were doing the final mix when we got word that we would be playing at Sinners Day in Belgium, which is a very big festival that we're very happy to be on.
Mm.
And it's the day that Ministry headlines.
That's amazing.
So it all
So
these
awesome.
weird kind of things just happen. I doubt we'll play it at Sinners Day on that stage. I don't want to get booed off the stage.
But that song put the juju out in the universe for you to get that slot, it seems like.
Yeah, maybe. And it was
That's so
fun.
cool.
So then we kind of spur of the moment made the video for it. There wasn't any plans to make a video for it, but I was visiting Kitty in the Netherlands over the holidays. So over the New Year, I went over there for like 5 weeks. And as soon as I got there, they made stricter pandemic measures. So I
yeah.
realized I wouldn't be traveling around, seeing friends, or
Oh.
doing much of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great to spend time with her. And we just decided to make a video because we have fun doing that.
Wow.
And so that's why you don't really see the other guys in the band in it.
Yeah.
They just weren't around.
But you see the fun that you guys were having, man.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
you
energy
see
in
the
there.
energy and you feel it, and like we were commenting, just like the shots, like everything was just so cool, man. It had such an awesome vibe to it.
Yeah.
And Bass Ape in the chat was saying it gave him like a very Firestarter, like old school Prodigy Firestarter vibe. The black and white, one man in the tunnel, like doing his thing, just going crazy, pure emotion. And it really was, man. And it's
Yeah.
so cool to hear the story that you guys were, it was just the two of you and there was nobody else. And you guys were just letting loose and having fun because you felt it. Like, I mean, at least for us, I kept saying that. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is like, the way that they did this was so cool.
I
It was
know,
like
it was
so much
very
fun.
cool. But it must have been haunting too, like going out in the streets and just seeing it was like a ghost town. Like that must have added
was
to some of
surreal.
that. Yeah.
That was the other favorite part of it was I felt like we were on an 80s MTV video set, you know, where
Oh,
they hose
wow.
down the streets and they have
Oh.
the lights because the streets were wet. The light was reflecting off them. And that's why we chose that shot at the start where you just see the feet walking in the
Mhm.
on the rainy street. I mean, I feel like I've seen that in 10 music videos, you know, maybe Poison or someone with their cowboy boots
Oh, yeah.
walking down the street, you know, but those were like $500,000 videos, closed sets and stuff. So yeah, when we were on the streets filming all that stuff, it wasn't at 4 o'clock in the morning like when you go out and do that usually.
Yeah.
So you have some peace and quiet. This was like at 9 o'clock at night.
That's so, but
And
it's
it
like
was
it's
just
Wonderland. It's all yours.
Yeah.
You just get to play.
Well, and when I'm kind of miming and mouthing to the camera, it feels a little weird when people are watching you, like
Yeah.
strangers walking by.
I would
And a lot
imagine.
of times they get what you're doing, but I still feel self-conscious and weird about it.
Yeah.
So like I say, it was like our closed set. I think we saw one person walk by, and in one shot, I know we cut it from the video because a bike went by with a light. And I was like, well, we can't have the whole video with no one and then just a bike.
And then just a bike guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
that
who's
totally
the
took me
bike
out
guy
of
to
the
this
moment.
story?
Yeah.
Was there
I'm like,
was there any kind
security.
of, like stuff like restrictions in the Netherlands when you were there? Like, was there any fear of like police like coming in and arresting you guys for being out or anything? Like, was there anything
The
like
police
that?
are pretty cool there. They're not like in the States.
Yeah.
Like on a different trip, when the whole band was in the Netherlands, we played our last show we played together in October 2019 in Germany. We were filming video at that time also.
Okay.
And we were in a parking ramp for a supermarket, and we had the Bluetooth speaker cranked. Baz, the drummer, Dynopster's pounding on his drum,
Oh.
not as hard as he can,
Yeah.
but he has to hit it for the video to make it realistic. And I'm like singing and dancing around with my weird mic that I know we
Yes.
have to talk about a little bit.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the police showed up because they're like, well, we heard some noise. And I think they're just concerned we're not spray painting or
Yeah.
wrecking cars or breaking in.
Bringing
You know,
delinquents.
Kitty
As long as you ain't being
explained to 'em.
hoodlums.
Yeah. Kitty said, oh, yeah, we're making a video. Is this okay? And they're like, okay. Just don't wreck anything, I think, you know?
Oh wow.
I don't know. I was in Dutch. I didn't understand everything, but I think they had a polite conversation. They didn't pull out their guns.
Well, that's
know,
always
so-
good.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, so there was no problem with that. I mean, you got to wonder, you know, people creeping around at night with a camera in doorways. I'm sure there's some security issues, but
Maybe.
you know, we weren't vandalizing anything. We were
Yeah.
just making a weird video.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite spots was is kind of a gate fence and some neon looking lights behind it. And that one wasn't even one of our locations that we chose. We just stumbled upon it that night.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
cool.
So
That's cool.
yeah, we had an idea and a little bit of a script put together for some shots, but most of it was just on the spot. Oh, there's some light. Oh, go stand under it.
Go over there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's that DIY though. That's
Hell
that's
yeah.
that punk, man. That's that punk.
And that song is a free download from our Bandcamp site if anyone wants it.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, guys. and
So-
the link is there in the chat.
Yep,
Guys,
and
definitely
remember,
go
Cool.
in there and
This
grab it.
Friday is Bandcamp Friday, you
Oh
guys.
yeah,
So
hell
Oh.
yeah! So
support,
Yeah.
support.
yeah, guys, if you want to support an artist, that is the number one way to do it because everything goes directly to the
Yep.
artist.
So you like that? Send them some money. All right.
All right, let's
So
go
we're
to
gonna
this
get on to
next
the
one.
next one. All right. So this next one is Zwaremachine track. This is Be a Light, and this is one of their live stream performances. So I'm super
Yeah,
excited
from the
about
Fox
this
Den.
one. Yes.
All right, live from the Fox Den.
All right, let's get it.
There we go.
Hi, hier ist ein Offizier of Zwaremachine.
This is Deba from Zwaremachine.
And this is Mach FoX from Zwaremachine.
Thanks for tuning into the live stream.
Wow, man. See, now that is something I've got to see live.
Yeah, that was
Kind
super,
of like our
super
anthem.
cool. That was super, super cool. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I feel like that's a good example of how I was talking about how I edit songs together, the vocal arrangement. Um, you might have noticed there was one verse and like 5 choruses. That's not a typical song arrangement
Yeah.
and not something I even do typically, but that's probably an example where there was probably 2 other verses written, but they just didn't, there wasn't good takes in my 3 vocal tries I do. So it became a 1 verse song and it
That's
just
great.
happened to work.
Yeah. I was curious, the visuals and the editing that you have on there, is that how it plays live, or do you go back and do post editing on the video?
The video and the screens behind are some of my live video coaching. I
Oh,
have a
nice.
loop with Baz, our drummer, with Dynophacy here.
I loved that.
And yeah, I try, it's just kind of randomly triggered, so it's not beat synced exactly, but I try to get it close. And then I switch to like our logo that kind of glitches out and everything, but it's just great to have them with us. That's why I wanted to show that video. That's obviously just the 2 of us, the bass player and I, who are in Minnesota,
Mhm.
and then our drummers in the Netherlands. So I wanted him to still feel like he was a part of our performance. So that was
Yeah.
the only fun way I could do it.
That was a really
man,
nice
it worked
touch.
so well. It worked so well. And then
Cool.
I'm really curious about your microphone, man. It's you're always
Yes.
rocking that in every video.
Yes.
I've got to see this thing. I got to know about this thing. What is going on here? It looks
You
like the
gotta
power glove meets
Yep.
the microphone. It's like the He-Man power glove.
Yeah.
So it's part of a Terminator Transformer or Terminator movie voice transformer.
Okay.
So there was a little piece, a mouthpiece. I think it was a headset. I never had that part.
Huh.
This was like given to me in my science fiction glam band days.
Nice.
I've been using this for a long time. But basically, yeah, I gutted it out, shoved a microphone in it, and glued something to it. Like some buttons, so people think I'm doing the effects live, which I am. They're on my pedal board, but
Yeah.
I'm not actually controlling it from there. I do have a switch on the microphone itself that came with the microphone that turns effects on and off, but really these are just props, these little buttons here.
Oh, that's
And this
so
is
neat.
just extra decoration.
I love it.
I
mean,
love it.
I love
I
it.
was really into building my own backdrops. We'd always bring our own lights. This was before Zwaremachine, although Zwaremachine was meant to be a multi-video audio experience.
Mm.
It was kind of like patterned after some old bands like Clock DVA and Severed Heads.
Okay.
And those bands, the video seemed just as important as the audio.
Yeah.
It was a package.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought Zwaremachine was going to be like that until I realized it was a lot to do to front the band, run live visuals, and also like engage the crowd. So I kind of put the visuals more on a looper.
Yeah, let them do
and
their own work.
Just, yeah. It's sort of a background. It's not synced to our songs or anything, but I still produce the video, so the visuals in the background. So I feel like I'm still doing something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's still original.
It's setting the mood. It's
Exactly.
being the backdrop to the
Yeah.
to the symphony and the world that you guys are painting with your music.
Yeah, and having those little screens that kind of repeat, like behind me and stuff like that. A lot of them are in road cases, so they're heavy as all get up to like carry around, but they do glow nicely on stage in a venue.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, and they work really nicely for this too. Like even it's a very cool backdrop. It sets a really cool mood, like that very cyber, like glitchy. It's a really really cool, like nice touch. We've actually thought about getting like some old like vintage monitors just to like make a monitor wall or something, because it's just such a, especially like if you're into like older sci-fi and like oh my, like Max Headroom and stuff like that. It's just such a nice callback to old, cool sci-fi stuff. At least to me, that's like the feeling that I get when I see it. And I love seeing those like warm staticky TVs, it's glitchy, it's really cool.
Yeah, and you can definitely get some security camera type. That's what some of these are. Some of them are professional video monitors for like video editing, but some of them are black and white, and they were sort of obsolete when many of them were given to me. I was known as the video guy.
Oh, yeah.
So anyone who ran across heavy old electronics like this was like giving them to me. And I met a guy off of Craigslist who I was buying stuff from, and every time I'd go buy something from him, he'd load up my truck with monitors and all kinds of old archaic video equipment.
That's awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I got to do lots of experiments with all this stuff.
Mhm.
It was just crazy. Now I'm kind of stuck with it.
You looked worried there for a second. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do now.
Well, they're nice when they're stacked up, but
Yeah.
we're not touring and carrying them around at the moment. But they're in road cases if we need to.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Well, and that actually reminds me, like, back to something that we were talking about when we were talking the other day. Where does the name Zwaremachine come from? I think what you're talking about is a good segue to that.
Yeah. So I thought it was German, and I was releasing digital music on a lot of net labels from around the world. Some Russian, German, just any labels that seemed like they were into experimental electronic music. So I thought I was combining a German word and an English word because I like the idea of being international, and
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And Zware turned out to be a Dutch word, but it means heavy. So combining heavy machine just made sense at the time because we were talking about these heavy monitors. And I also had a huge hardware setup with live sequencing, mixer, circuit bent drum machine, all this stuff I was doing live at the time. And it was heavy. So the name just stuck.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I think I was telling you guys, I feel like it's cliche. There's so many machine bands now, but I already printed up the stickers. So that's
you got
the
all
name.
the merch, so it's
Yep.
You can't get new merch now.
Well, it is what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that. And I'm so happy I know how to pronounce it correctly now too. So I'm very happy about that.
Well, I wanted to note in that live stream video too, you notice we had a little introduction at the start.
Yeah.
We all pronounce our name differently. So
I did
it's
notice
okay.
that. I did
Yep.
notice that when the bassist was like, I'm from Zwaremachine. I was like, ah.
Yep. Everyone says it differently, so it's
Yeah.
not a problem.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'm glad you guys stuck with the name. It's definitely a good one, and it suits you guys very well.
Yep. And thanks for playing that video. What I wanted to show though was that's two of us at the Fox Den.
Mhm.
Now in this next video, if I can intro it a bit,
Of
Yeah,
course, absolutely.
you get the full deal. Like this is the band that I'm most proud of. I've always had Zwaremachine be a 3-piece for live.
Mhm.
There was times when I did solo shows, and D-Bot and I even did a little touring and a few shows as a duo. But I always pictured an extra synth player and a live drummer of some sorts.
Okay.
Maybe just standing playing an electronic drum pad.
Mhm.
But I never pictured an electric bass player rocking out and a guy pounding a big, huge silver drum. But I love playing with these guys. This is Zwaremachine.
Awesome.
And
Hell
you'll
yeah.
hear and see in the next video, like what our live show can be.
Awesome. Well, yeah, with that, this is Remain Reprise. This is a live show from the Autumn Moon Festival back in October 2019. Them playing in Hamein, Germany.
All right, guys.
This is our last song. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, man. Now that was
Oh
a
my God.
performance, man. That was a
Welcome to the
performance.
machine.
That looked like so much fun.
That was a
So
performance,
much
man.
fun.
Didn't know
I miss
what,
it so much.
Yeah, we were commenting to each other that each of you has such a unique and fun energy up there that you don't know who to look at. It's like you look at the bassist and he's headbanging and getting it, and you're jumping
just
around
locking
the
in the
stage.
groove,
and then
Dying
Dying
Officer
Officer
just
just
ooh, yo.
like-
But he was getting it, man.
Way.
He was having that energy with you. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going crazy, but Dying Officer was getting it with you, man. It was awesome. That was sick.
No, when I look over and D-Bot is like banging his head, and then I look over to the other side and Dine Officer is like pounding that drum, mouthing the words to all the songs. I don't know how he knows them. I barely know them. But man, I don't know who to look at or what to do. It's
You're like,
really
oh wait, I'm up
fun.
here.
And to be honest, that was our first, only, and last gig with the
Damn.
three of us
wow.
performing together.
Damn.
Wow. Before the world
Yeah,
hit.
basically
Yeah.
we played that show in October 2019. I went back to the Netherlands in January of 2020 or 2020
Mhm.
to record Dine Officer for the Conquest 3000 album. Just record his drums. And then we had booked a couple shows for that coming summer of 2020 before everything got shut down and canceled.
Wow.
So, yeah, we were planning on going back to Germany and the Netherlands for a couple release shows,
Oh, man.
and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, our drummer's been going through some health issues, which he's clear through now. And
Good.
we're building up
Right.
the set, getting ready to play live again.
Yes.
But it's been brutal. The reason I have Zwaremachine is to perform live. We talked about the studio process and everything, but
Yeah.
that's not what I enjoy the most out of the band. I want to get up and play with those guys.
Yeah.
D-Bot and I have played together for years and years, maybe since like 2006.
Oh wow.
He's one of my most favorite bandmates my whole life. Great guy to just hang out with.
Mm.
Terrific musician.
Yeah, he's an incredible
So,
bassist.
yeah, we
Amazing.
get together and we've done these live streams, but I really miss playing live venues with those
Yeah.
guys.
How long was your guys' set that day?
35, 45
Yeah.
minutes. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like a regular set length,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a half hour. I can't remember. It was actually the last day of the festival, and I think it was a contest too. Like we had fans and friends vote to get us there.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's so special.
it's hard to get on those festivals over there. It's great if you can.
Hmm.
Definitely try and do that if that's your thing. But we're just lucky to get to play a few shows like that. And the one coming up in next October.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to get some information on that from you because I mean we have some audience and community members that might be going to the festival or want to check it out. So we can definitely post it in the Discord for you, so that people going to the festival or that want to check you guys out.
This
can
is a little
definitely check you
sneak
guys
peek of
out.
what that's going to look
Yeah.
like,
That's kind of what you guys inspired me actually to when you said, "Hey, let's put some videos up." I'm like, "Well, I've got some old footage that no one's seen."
Mhm.
So those were kind of exclusive. I mean,
Oh, nice.
they were seen live and they might have been seen before, but
Oh,
I
cool.
just got those up on our YouTube channel, our official
no
YouTube
way.
channel that Kitty runs.
Oh,
my
that's
And
awesome.
so it's sort of a premiere here for
Yeah.
you, but
Oh,
Hell
that's so
yeah, man.
awesome.
yeah, I just wanted to give your friends and your fans and people who don't know our band a glimpse of what we're really doing.
Yeah.
You can get a lot from our album images and the tons of videos we made during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Kitty